Hi, I'm Aubrey Aviles with PMZ Real Estate, and today I'd like to introduce you to my lender, John King with Summit Funding.
Hi guys, I'm John King. I work for Summit Funding here in Lodi. I've been doing mortgages for the last 17 years and the last 15 years in Lodi, and I am excited and proud to be partnered with Aubrey in helping to serve her clients and all of their mortgage and real estate needs.
Thank you, John. So today I'm speaking to first-time home buyers, and we're doing an interview with the lender today. John, I have some questions that first-time home buyers typically ask me, and I'd like to ask you today so we can educate our first-time home buyers so they aren't intimidated with the process, they understand how easy and smooth it can actually be to buy their first home.
Perfect, and I promise I don't bite. So you'll see today, I'm kind of a nice guy. You don't have to worry about us biting.
Okay, so John, my first question is, some first-time home buyers don't even know what a lender does or that they are vital to the home buying process. Tell us a little bit about some names lenders go by. Mortgage loan originator is one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Who is a lender and what do they do in the home buying process?
Oh, awesome. So we go by a million names. We're mortgage bankers, we are lenders, we're the bank, lots of different names, but basically we're the place where you get the money. And so unless you are fortunate enough to have cash to write a check to purchase a beautiful home,
that would be nice.
Wouldn't it? I know. Most people aren't in that position. And so they need somebody like me to give them the money to buy that home, and then you pay us back over the next 15 or 30 years.
Or the rest of your life.
Or the rest of your life. Often for the rest of at least your ownership of that home. That's pretty common. But our role really is my role is to fit your buyers into the right program. Because there's lots of different ways I can access that money and help them to get the best payments with the right amount of down payment that suits their needs.
Right, very good. Okay. So one of the questions they ask, or the first thing they ask is, okay, Aubrey, what is my lender going to ask me for? My grandmother's birth certificate?
Maiden name, blood sample, yeah, all of the above. No.
It's not that bad.
It is not that bad, I promise. It's a pretty straightforward process. I like to simplify it by saying we need details and we need documentation of those details. So the details we're asking for is, your social security number, your birth date for anybody who's on the mortgage. So you can have co-signers, a spouse, a parent, some other relative that might be living in there or not living in there can co-sign for you. And we need to get their personal information, their work history for the last 2 years, where they've lived for the last 2 years. That's kind of the details.
Okay.
And then the documentation is the proof of all of that, like your paycheck stubs, your tax returns for the last 2 years, bank statements, that kind of thing.
Okay, good to know. Okay, on the subject of they understand they have to have money coming into a house, down payment. Some of them don't even know about closing cost. A down payment, what are some options they have for that?
One of the biggest misconceptions is that you have to have 20% of the purchase price.
Yes, I hear that all the time.
I do too, and the reality is you don't need 20%. I will say dollar for dollar, you're best off if you can come up with that. You're going to have the lowest monthly payments. But if you don't buy until you come up with 20% down, housing prices will continue to go up and you'll end up spending a whole lot more on that home than you would have if you had bought with a smaller down payment. So Aubrey, to answer your question, I've got programs with as little as 0 down payments. So depending upon what your income level is, the cool thing is people see the word first-time home buyer. And they say, oh, gosh, I wish I could do that, but I owned a home 10 years ago.
Right, exactly.
The definition of a first-time home buyer is if you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years. So if you haven't owned a home in 3 years, you qualify as a first-time home buyer. And there are programs out there that can help a lot of people with sometimes 0 down, often as little as 3 to 5% down payment is pretty common, even if you're not a first-time home buyer.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then you asked about closing costs.
I did. What are closing costs, and what are some things that we can do to help with closing costs?
So 2 answers to that. First of all, closing costs are the fees that you pay for the services required to buy a home.
Right.
So the great news is when you're buying a home, you as the home buyer don't pay for the amazing services you get from Aubrey. The seller of the home pays for that. So her services are free to you. Mine, on the other hand, are not. So you get the benefits of paying for my services. So, you know,
I do all the hard work and
yes.
he gets paid.
There you go. That's how it's supposed to work. So you pay lenders' fees. They range from $1,000 to $2,000. My company's right in the middle at $1,500. Appraisal, title insurance. And I can explain that a little bit later if you want to on what title insurance is. But the reality is, it's anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000. The reality is we can do some things to adjust it up or down within that range, and you can also get assistance with closing costs if you need it.
Right.
So there's seller can help pay for closing costs.
Right.
We can use down payment assistance programs to help pay for it. I've gotten people into homes for as little as $1,000 of their own money out of pocket.
That was my client,
total.
Wasn't it?
It absolutely was. It absolutely was.
Yeah, after paying for appraisal and inspections,
That was it.
And I think one of my clients even got a check at closing for $1,200.
Yeah, we don't talk about that one though.
It's always nice. Okay, so another important question is FICO score or credit score. Some are with the misunderstanding that you have to have a 700 plus credit score to get in a home as a first-time home buyers. What are the requirements today, and what are the different loans that require certain credit scores? Got
it. So the good news is we relaxed the guidelines. Instead of requiring 700, we only require 699. No, I'm just kidding. Conventional loans, those you may have heard the term Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. You can go as low as a 620 credit score.
Oh, wow.
But conventional loans are really sensitive to the combination of your credit score and your down payment. So if you have a 620 credit score and a small down payment, conventional is the wrong loan for you. Okay, that's where I'm the expert and helping to guide you the right direction.
Exactly.
FHA, well, we can actually go down to a 550 credit score. Wow. 550 on an FHA loan. Now you need a little bigger down payment. We got to have a real good understanding of what caused you to be at that credit score. So you know, just because you have that number doesn't mean you automatically qualify. But we have the opportunity to get it done, and I've got the ability to give you the advice to put you in the position to get it done. If it's not today, I can give you the steps and the information you need in order to qualify in the near future.
Yeah, I want to say that some of my clients have referred to John as a financial advisor. We recently worked with a client that came to them and they weren't ready to buy right then, but John laid out this plan of attack. Attack the credit card, attack the loans. And they came back to John a few months later and they bought their dream home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I talk to people about credit advice very much like you would think about advice you get from your doctor. The truth is that your doctor may say, hey, to treat your high blood pressure, take this pill.
Right.
But if your friend says, oh my gosh, I've got the same problem, can I borrow your pills? Yeah, my pills might kill you, okay? Because my medical history is different. The same holds true for credit advice. So the advice that I gave that particular client may be totally different than the advice I would give somebody else. So don't read on the internet. Don't talk to your friends about how to improve your credit. We don't charge anything to pull your credit and to give you that advice. And it's tailored to what your credit history looks like based upon what steps you need to take in order to improve your credit score.
Right. Very good.
All right.
So another question I had is, some of my friends are self-employed.
Yep.
What are the requirements if they're self-employed? I know they're different from somebody who works a regular day-to-day job and has that stable income.
Yeah.
What are those requirements?
Depends on the loan program that we're doing, but I'll tell you that the guidelines have become a little more relaxed, and we're actually able to qualify people often using just 1 year of tax returns. And the cool thing is we're at the right time of year right now. This video may last for years and years and years. So we're recording this in December, you know, at this time of year, it's a great opportunity to strategize that maybe you can show a little more profit on next year's tax return, and I can use that tax return, and I don't worry about the prior years. Some programs will require that I average 2 years of income for self-employed people, so it's on a case-by-case basis. But we've got a lot of flexibility to help depending upon what your circumstances are.
Okay, great. And John, one last question. What advice would you give to first-time home buyers, or maybe somebody who wants to buy their first home, you know, this next year? What are some goals, some advice you would offer them to prepare for that?
Well, first of all, my best advice is to talk to us early. Okay, we don't charge anything to sit down and give a consultation. You don't pay us anything until we close the loan, and that's included in the closing costs. Right. And so I find that somebody might have a game plan, and they may be thinking to themselves, you know I need to fix A and B before I buy a home, so there's no point in talking to a lender.
Right.
And what we might find is A isn't as bad as what you thought.
Right, exactly.
B is probably about where you thought it was, but guess what? There's a C. And you need to fix C, and that's your biggest of your problems, and you didn't know it was there. So my biggest advice is if you think you want to be a homeowner ever, come sit down with me. I've had people who have come in saying, I don't want to buy for 2 or 3 years. And I sit down with them and I'm like, you're right. You need to wait. And sometimes I sit down and I say, why are you waiting? Because I thought I needed to. And in that case, sometimes they don't have to wait and they're able to buy a home before prices keep going up and interest rates keep going up.
Right. Great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. If you guys have any questions, give us a call. Aubrey is an absolutely amazing agent. You're fortunate to be working for her. She fights tooth and nail. She's an expert negotiator in helping you get the best possible deal. So you're in phenomenal hands with her. And myself and my team look forward to taking great care of you. And if you have any questions, give us a call and have a great day.